September the 7th, 2020. Guys, you're looking at our website at bpearthwatch.com. The two things I want to talk about tonight are both links here that have been here forever. Many of you know about it, but we're getting a lot of new subscribers and just a lot of the videos, let me say this, that I do, the links are here. And if you come down this left column, you'll see very many of them having to do with space and weather and different things like that. And on the right, guys, you have the free download of eSword, probably the best search engine there is for Bible information. Also the Greek and Hebrew dictionary. Sat Tracker, Eyes on the Sky, the International Space Station, tracking software, J Helioviewer, Mimic, and Gamma Ray Burst. All of those are here, and they're very good. But again, tonight, what I want to talk about, guys, is weather. First, in hurricanes, just come down on the left there, click here. Now, the only thing that's even close to coming to the U.S. anytime soon, guys, is this system that's setting off the East Coast. There's a 40% chance of cyclone formation in 5 days. This is as of 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's 8 p.m. Central, so 1 hour ago. An area of low pressure located more than 200 miles southwest of Bermuda is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Some gradual development of this system is possible during the next few days, while the low moves slowly westward to northwestward. Again, 20% chance in 48 hours, 40% chance within the next 5 days. And you can see that it's targeting South Carolina, North Carolina at this point. Now, you also have a system that has a 60% chance of development that's just coming off the African coast. We'll keep an eye on that. Now, the two tropical storms, both Paulette and Renee, are going to be Atlantic storms. They're going to curve. You see that it's not strengthening that much, and as it gets into colder waters, that will slow that down. But as of 2 p.m., the curve is showing it, and the model's doing a recurve into the Atlantic. Same thing with the backstorm, guys. Shows it becoming a Cat 1 by 5 a.m. Thursday, but it still has this North Atlantic curve. I think these will be non-events for us in the U.S. Any kind of maritime activity should, you should watch this. And, of course, when these curl back up, our friends in the UK and all through that section of Europe, you'll get a little taste of the wind and rain. Now, so what we got is we're watching the one that's south of Bermuda headed towards Carolina. The other one coming off of Africa, we'll have to watch it within the next 8 to 10 days. These two tropical storms, again, will not affect the U.S. under the present modeling. And one reason you can always tell, guys, when they come off of Africa, if they're below the Cabo Verde Islands, and notice this storm is above the Cabo Verde Islands, usually they will be caught up into the North Atlantic. If they're south and tracking towards the Caribbean, you have a much greater chance of impact either in the Gulf itself or up along the East Coast. So again, the storm off of the Carolinas will be the one we will have to watch, friends, there. Let's take a look at satellite imaging. Now, guys, this is the Atlantic or East Coast view on the satellites as we see it becoming dark. What we're looking at, guys, notice right here. You see that low pressure? And what's happening is you see the upper level wind that's moving from left to right in this image, and it's tearing the top off of the storm. It's right there. But they're saying it will become more conducive over the next few days for development. And that would occur because the wind shear would change. It's been out there for a couple of days trying to get it together, but as we've seen a lot of the other storms along the East Coast in the last month or so, get the tops taken off of them. That's a good thing. It keeps it from having keeps it from strengthening too much because we're still in prime hurricane season up until the end of November. So this is the one we're going to have to pay attention to, and any possible development in the Caribbean, and that we'll keep an update on the complete situation. But this is the one they're watching. Now notice in the top left of this image, guys, you see these storms? There's been tornadoes popping up there throughout the day. So It's telling me that you got warm air mixing with some very cold air, and that's the second part of this video. So you guys keep your heads up overnight on this situation here. Keep your weather radios turned on. Now, going back to our website, I want you to come down to the 5th link to the National Weather Service. And this national map, again, created on the 8th UTC time, which it is 1:02, again, Universal Time. You're seeing, kind of pick your poison. Along the West Coast, excessive heat warnings. You got fires burning along the West Coast. You move across there into Nevada, a mixture of going from red flag warnings to into purple, which is hard freeze warnings. And you've got freeze warnings up north. Notice that very dark blue. Red flag warnings across there because of the wind. Weather or winter weather advisories in the purple here, guys, and that's all along this area. And I think because of this drop, and we talked about this in a video a couple of days ago about cold weather coming in, and it's going to be possibly, according to the meteorologists, the agricultural meteorologists, as well as some of the old-timers like Farmer's Almanac guys, that it's going to be an unusually cold winter. Now, why would it be that way now? We're seeing a lot of intense heat in places, not because of global warming, but because our shields are weak. And when you have that, you have a lot more solar radiation pouring into the planet. And it heats the oceans, it burns up crops, it burns up your skin. So when you're right at the bottom of it, we're starting to see signs of solar cycle 25 starting on the sun with the different polarities and the sunspots. But we're at the very bottom of the trough of 24 and starting the up curve. So this winter could be key, because if our shields are that weak, it's kind of like taking the blanket off. You understand what I'm saying? And so we don't have a lot of reflection in the upper atmosphere. It could be very cold. And things are kind of out of whack with the Arctic vortices, things like that. But guys, again, here in Colorado, check this out, freeze warnings. And I mentioned this about wheat, and a lot of people were saying, well, they've harvested the wheat. But in some areas, guys, they have like a 5-week winter wheat that they do in the starting this time of year. And we were talking about inhibiting that planting. So that's what the wheat there was. So now you got soybeans and things like that that are to the east of this. So we'll just see how far this dives into it. But again, the winter is coming on. Prepare. If it's firewood, extra gas. Guys, look into YouTube videos about building solar heaters, solar water heaters, and things like that, and solar heaters. So you can build all those things and use the energy of the sun to help heat your home. Prepare any way you can. Just whatever it takes. You know, you have to save up for some extra gas or whatever. It's going to be cold, and with some of the crop damage we've seen in both Iowa and Louisiana and other places, the food scarcity is a real thing. Today, I had to cut some trees that had died. They were starting to worry me during these high wind situations, such as hurricanes and tornadoes. And so I didn't have much time to sit down here, but just could walk in and kind of take a look at what was going on and walk out. But in the afternoon, I went to the local grocery store to pick up a few things, and it's really getting scarce, certain items. Very few on the shelf, and what's there is very high priced. Now, I want to, in the best way that I can say it on this platform, there's a lot of trouble coming in November, and I'm not talking about space, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Either way it works out, there's going to be problems. Now, there's something that the leader of this nation can do, and to me it will be the ultimate test, okay? It will be the test on whose side who is on. And let me just say this, write this down if you want to. And it will take two things for him to do to try to at least balance things out, let's say that. And you can write down 14th AD plus ISR Act. Take time to study what those are. If both of those are followed, and that may be what's happening, may be why we're seeing the play out, not sure, but it would be the test if we are to see if we're dealing with two sides of the same coin, or we're dealing with two completely different sides, both wanting to rule, and one by devastation, and who knows what by the other one. But that will be the test, guys, on where we stand with the leaders of the nation. It's a heads up. Be safe.